Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Briggs and Mortar Heights Facebook Live Tips Tuesday. My name is Michelle Briggs. I'm a residential realtor with Strata, Texas. And today we have Peter Catalano. He is the owner of Catalano Financial. I want to make sure I say your last name correctly. Thank you for being a part of us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for letting me be here.
I love it. So, Peter, you those that are watching, myself included, those watching the replay, we hear a lot of different companies that are financial. Now, I want to learn a little bit about you before you tell us exactly what Catalano Financial is. So tell us a little bit about who you are.
Oh, thank you for asking. So I'm Peter Catalano, and I've been in the financial services industry since 1992. I have some gray hair. Some of it caused by being in the business this long. Most of it caused by the fact I have 4 kids. The oldest is 16, the youngest is 4, and I've got gray hair. So I started a little bit later in life having kids, but it's been a wonderful journey. I also have a dog, and our dog is wonderful. Roxy's her name. She's great. She's a healer. She's a labradoodle. Excuse my stuttering, and she's great. You know, one I'll tell you a fun story. One time, our now 10-year-old was throwing a fit, as they do at 4 or 5, and I don't know, he was on the floor pounding, upset about something, I don't remember. But Roxy's great. She just came right over, sat on him like good dogs do, and just waited for him to calm down. Just kind of looked at me like, I've done my job, right? Because Brendan eventually calmed down, and we said, yeah, Roxy, good job. And Brendan just hugged Roxy for another 15 minutes or so to share that love. Anyways, that's my family.
I love it. I love it. Family man, puppies. We all love our puppies and our babies. Of course, our fur babies and our babies. I love
You
it.
bet.
4 kiddos. You do
Yeah.
have your hands full, huh?
Yeah, we do.
I love it. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing all of that great information about you and who you are. Now, tell us a little bit, or tell us, what is Catalano Financial?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. So Catalano Financial is a registered investment advisory firm. We're here based in Texas. I started in the life insurance industry back in 1992. And today, my real specialty is that and life insurance. So today, I'd like to talk mostly about how life insurance can be properly used and properly structured for people who use real estate as their primary asset class.
I love that because this one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you onto Tips Tuesdays, the Facebook Live, because I truly believe, home ownership matters. However, there's a whole nother level of real estate and really utilizing what you're going to share with us today. I will give it away, but to look at what you currently have to really build assets to your net worth, if you will. And there's different things that you can use with the real estate to, have a better retirement, right?
Sure.
All of that great
You bet.
stuff.
Yeah, you bet. You said it well.
Yeah. And you're the person that's going to share a little bit about that. So
Sure.
when we were planning, we were looking at, what we're going to talk about today. I really do feel like you are a partner for realtors like myself. You're a partner with investors. Now, tell us a little bit about what makes you different as your company and looking at real estate.
Oh, thanks for asking. So, what I've discovered over the years as an advisor is not a lot of financial planners, financial advisors, insurance agents. Not a lot of them will spend time with people who use real estate as a asset class predominantly. You'll find financial advisors will chase after people who are moving their 401k or investing a good amount of money in the market. And there's a great reason why they're doing that, and not for this particular topic. Call me and ask me why. Happy to disclose it. But I like working with people who use real estate predominantly as an investment class, an asset class. These people have planning needs, estate planning needs. I look at a financial plan as an example, and I go, wait a minute, if you've got all real estate, well, that's a business. You're in the business of real estate. Maybe you're buying a bunch of commercial property, residential property, or whatnot, or you're in, and you know that business. You know when to buy and sell. You're working with your real estate agent. You're evaluating the market. You're bringing in renters, however you're designing it. But you're doing that business for the purpose of generating revenue to live the life you want to live. So you've got your life that you want to live, your family, the legacy you want to give, all of that. So I look at it and go, you still have planning needs. You have tax planning needs, estate planning needs, liquidity needs. And this is where, especially from a life insurance standpoint, I find that people who are in the real estate field could benefit by having a strong life insurance program in place, especially to deal with liquidity within the estate. And if you're not aware, estate planning is big issue for people who have a substantial amount of real estate.
Right. And and you have your resources, you have your partners, you have, because you don't do the estate planning piece of it,
No,
right? So
no,
that's an attorney. And
right.
you have your partners that you really create a team around your client to set them up for success and really what they're wanting to do and what you create with them, right?
Absolutely.
That plan of
So,
action.
yep. So thank you for bringing that just real quick. You are correct. I specialize in an area, either the planning or the life insurance, and I work with either the client's attorney or, of course, I have an attorney who's a board certified estate planning attorney that I bring on board to make sure that the client's estate is in order. Now, he handles the legal side. I handle the liquidity side.
Got it. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, if you are just joining us today, my name is Michelle Briggs. I'm a residential realtor with Strata, Texas. So I'm the host of Briggs and Mortar Heights Facebook Live, our Tips Tuesdays. Today we have Peter Catalano. He is the owner of Catalano Financial, and we were talking about what makes them different, like what exactly Catalano Financial is. We also talked about looking at real estate assets, the liquidity of that. And you can correct me on how I'm saying that. You won't hurt my feelings if you correct me.
No, you're great.
I want to make sure that we have the message coming across accurately, because that's really important, especially for what you do.
Mhm. So if I can, let's dive a little bit deeper into how life insurance and why it's important. So there's a couple things for people to take away from this. I'm going to kind of give a little spoiler here right now. So if you have a pen and paper, please write this down. One of the things you want to do in your life insurance arena is make sure you have proper beneficiary statements. I literally have had a situation where a gentleman died and he was on a second marriage, and wife from the first marriage got the benefit of the life insurance. Not what they had decided, not what they had agreed to in the divorce plan. Second wife was a little bit upset that first wife got paid. So beneficiary statements, absolutely go through your policies at least on an annual basis and make sure the beneficiary statement's up to place. Other things you want to look at is how is the life insurance structured? Now, for those who understand or know a little bit about life insurance, there's two types. There's term and permanent, they call it, or cash value. And it's the cash value life insurance policy that's usually grossly misunderstood, but it's cash value policies that, if used properly, can allow you to use the money from the policy to invest in real estate. Now, briefly, how does that work? Inside a cash value life insurance policy, there's cash accumulation. That cash accumulation grows tax deferred. If you do it correctly and follow the rules that the IRS has laid out, you can access that cash value tax-free. So remember, it's growing tax deferred, and you can access that cash value tax-free. And what I see and what I encourage my clients to do is utilize that cash value to then invest in real estate. Now, here's the beauty about leverage with a cash value policy. With leverage, the money that you borrow from the policy, let me rephrase, the money that's in the policy stays. So let's say you have 100,000 accumulated in the policy and you borrow 50. Well, the interest earned on the policy is going to be based on the 100 grand, even though you're using 50 to buy real estate. So we're kind of double dipping here, right? And this kind of blows some people's mind. You mean if I accumulate 100 grand inside the life insurance policy, that'll earn its interest rate, depending on the type of policy you have. And I can use some or majority of that money to go out and buy real estate? I'm double dipping on my money. Yes, you are.
That's
and it
amazing.
can be done. Okay. But it takes planning. There's a lot of nuances that need to be dealt with here, but this is the kind of planning I love to do with real estate professionals and people investing in real estate. Does that make sense? Did I cover that
It
well,
does.
Michelle?
I mean, no, it does. Because I think, I mean, there are investors, there are individuals that want to become investors, that want to flip homes, that want to acquire assets to turn into rental properties. I think this is a valid conversation to have with those individuals to see where they are, right? And how they can utilize their current life insurance policy, right?
Sure.
To be able
Or
to,
right, in order to be able to do this, absolutely. So now all of it, Michelle, is planning, right? So when you run into clients and they've accumulated some dollars and they're going to use those dollars to buy their home, we may not be in a position for the life insurance to help them. But if the client has a little longer term impact, or let's say, for example, I have a client who has multiple commercial property, plus he owns a couple businesses, a restaurant and another business, and the properties are predominantly paid off, and these properties are throwing off wonderful income for him to live. But he's got an estate issue. He's got a liquidity issue, especially with the state tax changes that are coming down the road, proposed changes at this juncture. But what we're looking at, and what he's literally doing, is he's divesting some of his real estate, using those dollars to invest in life insurance, knowing that we're going to borrow the money back out of the life insurance to go back into some real estate. So,
that's,
there's a
that's
lot of
thinking.
different ways to do this. Now, ironically, I have another client doing the exact same thing. She called me the other day. It's from somebody we both know in our networking group. And she called me up and said, "Hey, Pete, I hear you're the guy to talk to about all things life insurance. I want to use life insurance and I'm selling 4 of my properties today. How can I use the proceeds from that for the life insurance?" And we're starting conversations to
Nice.
help benefit her using life insurance in those transactions. I don't know if she'll go back into real estate with some of it. I don't know if she'll use it for accumulation, but either way, there's a huge value in using cash value life insurance, um, for planning, especially if real estate is an asset class.
Right. I love it. I love it. Well, I always have a call to action, and I usually put it out there before this point. We're kind of getting towards the end. However,
Sure.
we have, so Peter, what I do is those that are watching, I always have a call to action, and it's always a hashtag. So today, hashtag money. So hashtag money below, and I will have Peter reach out to you directly. And this is
You
all through
betcha.
Facebook. If you're watching on, YouTube, it's hashtag money, short and sweet. We like that word. And I'll have Peter reach out to you and to have a conversation. Now, Peter, when someone calls and says, "Hey, I really, help me understand how we can, whatever that is for them," is there, do you have the first consultation? Is that first hour complimentary? Or, I mean, how does
Absolutely.
that work?
I'd be happy to talk to anybody. First hour or so, no problem whatsoever. We can talk about what you're trying to accomplish. Here's where I start. I want to dig into, what are you trying to accomplish? I'm not here just to sell you something. I need to know what it is. What's the end result you're looking for? Okay. What have you done so far?
Right.
And what are you doing? What are your plans? And then we can look and say, okay, here's a possible route we should discuss. Now, I'm a real team member kind of guy. So I'm going to say to you, great, where's Michelle? Where's your real estate agent in this? Where's your estate planning attorney in this? Where's your CPA been advising you in this? Because so first step is, what do you want to accomplish?
Mhm.
Second step, we need to see where you're at. Third step, we need to design a plan to fulfill on that.
Right.
So I'll be more than happy to chat with anybody. I'll give you easily an hour. Just ask you to come prepared with, here's what I want to accomplish, and here's where I'm at right now. So we can have an effective conversation.
Right, exactly. That's perfect. That is perfect. Right, you guys. Okay, so every Tuesday we always give a tip. So what is our tip today, Peter?
Well, as I kind of gave it away a little bit earlier, but I'd like you, all of your listeners, to check beneficiary statements on your life insurance policies. By the way, check any place that has a beneficiary statement, your 401k, your IRAs, your life insurance, even annuities, depending on how you own them. Any place where you have named a beneficiary, please check them, make sure they're current, make sure they're accurate, because you'll be surprised how we forgot about this IRA 20 years ago and kids are already moved out of the house, or one of the kids is doing okay, but the others are not, or maybe unfortunately we've had a change in marital situation. So check the beneficiary statements.
Right. You had mentioned about review what type it is.
So when you're specifically looking at life insurance, also review what type of policy you have.
Got it.
I have people come to me frequently with, oh, I got this thing and it was paid for 5 or 10 years, and now the prices is really going up and I don't know what to do and I don't want to pay. Let's look at the type specific to insurance, life insurance. Let's look at the type of life insurance you have and be prepared for what could be coming up in the future, especially if you have what's called a term policy.
Got it. Excellent. Well, those are excellent tips. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of today. Again, my name is Michelle Briggs. I'm a residential realtor with Strata, Texas. I always ask you to follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. My finger right there. Hashtag realtor for you. If you're watching again on YouTube, subscribe below. And Peter, thank you so much again for being with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope we provided some value for somebody out there.